Welcome to the Coast Podcast. I'm Emilie, a virtual assistant agency owner who left Amazon in 2019 to build my dream.
And I'm Whitney, a freelance writer and communications consultant who never felt at home in a cube farm.
We wanted to learn from people who paved their own ways like we did. So we created this podcast to talk to others who are brave enough to pick a different path. Creatives, entrepreneurs, people doing their careers and their lives their way.
Join us as we make new friends, get inspired, and show you beautiful paths less traveled.
Not every road leads to the coast, but the ones that do come with a great view. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coast Podcast. My name's Emilie Given, and I own She's a Given, which is a virtual assistant agency in Lynnwood, Washington.
And my name is Whitney Popa. I own a communications consultancy in Edmonds, Washington. And today, another one of my local dreams is coming true. We are interviewing my neighbor who just opened, as of the launching of this recording, just opened her new fitness studio nearby. And she is the CTO, the Chief Tramp Officer, which is a tongue twister.
It's a mouthful.
Of Tramp Stamp Fit, which focuses on the Tony Robbins, whatever his name for the little trampolines is, that you will get into for us, and Yoga Sculpt, which is very, very exciting.
I'm glad you're excited.
I am.
I'm excited too.
I'm a stan.
Well,
which I learned is actually what you think it is. Like, I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and it's actually the Eminem stan thing.
yeah.
It
You
is.
didn't know that?
No, I thought it was some K-pop term.
Oh, that's like the saddest song, but
Right, that's why I didn't think it
Yeah, I
was.
know.
And then I thought, well, stan is psycho. So is it just some word that the Z's made up that I don't know, because I'm at the age where I look up everything on Urban Dictionary,
Same.
which probably isn't the move.
I did this
But I
morning.
think it's stalker fan, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fan. Yeah.
So that perfectly describes Whitney to you. I get it.
Yes. And we're also neighbors,
I like the same street neighbors.
basically.
love
Similar.
that.
Yeah, basically.
I love that. But I haven't taken a class, so tell me all about it. And I'm actually looking to the website, multitasking right now, because I'm totally going to book a class. I'm so excited. Anyway, tell me all about it.
So it is 45 minutes of trampoline fitness on and off the trampoline. So I think a lot of people get kind of scared and intimidated when they think of A, just working out on a trampoline, but B, they think that they're going to be on the tramp for the whole 45 minutes. And you're probably on the trampoline like 6 or 7 songs. So if every song is 3 minutes, then that's like 20 minutes. So, and it's each class is choreographed, so it's in intervals. So it's a warm up, and then you have a couple tramp songs, and then it's arms, and then you basically just work your way down the body. So core, seat, legs, and then a cool down at the end. So I'm designing the classes to be 45 minutes because I think that's just that's what I enjoy taking. That's what I enjoy teaching. I think 60 minutes gets to be just a little long, and then you have an extra long cool down. And I don't know if I necessarily need that or if my clients do. So that's the trampoline class. And then Yoga Sculpt is yoga with weights. So you have your traditional yoga warm up, breath, getting centered, sun salutation A and B, and then you get into squats, push-ups, again, arms, core, seat, legs, all with weights, and then a shavasana at the end.
45 is perfect.
I agree.
45 is ideal.
Savasana's my favorite.
Of course it is.
I'm really good at that one.
45 is perfect, and I'm going to try to contain myself because Allison and I have bonded about a few of these things, including Yoga Sculpt, which is something that I also took at Core Power, which for anybody who's it's nationwide,
yeah.
But anybody who's taken a Yoga Sculpt class before, they're really fun, especially when you get choreographed and you're all slamming your weights on the floor at the same time. And Allison's so good at that, because another thing that I think we have in common is that we're white bitches who have black souls.
Are we allowed
an
to
extent.
say that?
Yes.
Are we allowed to say
Yes.
that? Look at Emily's face.
You don't think I have a black soul?
I'm a wee bit
I have a lot of soul.
Yeah.
My soul number is 1 out of 10, a 9.
I think you have a lot of soul.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of soul. I've never characterized it as a color, but I think that, like, I don't know. I think the black can be construed in many ways, because I've always said that I've had like a black heart. Like, I can be a little bit cold, but also warm at the same time. I don't know.
Same. There's once a year where I do my nails black to match part of my soul. But I've been working a lot on my black soul. And yes, that can be interpreted different ways. In that case, I meant soul number, like black people. I relate better in a lot of ways than I do to white people. And I feel like in our town, I'm often this white person who looks a certain way screaming about rights and things that people who look like me usually don't care about as much, or that seem performative, when really I'm like, no, this is the right way to be. And please, let's think about other humans who don't necessarily have our same hair and eye color and love the same people and etc. But then also when I'm in your classes, so I have this thing where I'm addicted to certain instructors, and then I'm very try to be nice but don't love others as much when it comes to fitness classes. And there are certain instructors and certain types of classes. This is why I'm so excited that you're opening this, because there's a few instructors at the local Bar 3 studio where you started that I only took their classes because those are the only ones that work for me. And it's a little bit divisive, I think, because your classes have a lot of soul, and not all of these women here are used to that or feel comfortable dancing their hearts out. And I don't either. Like, as far as the soul level goes, I'm not the dancer.
Right.
You know, I'll bop and I'll feel it, but I did it for you, especially in those Monday 45s that your husband came to. And he doesn't know when the beat drops at all. And he's not flexible, but we both have a high soul number and we're there for you. So I'd love to know, and what I asked you to do after our Instagram class, because I was like, Alison can't just be, as much as she could just be this savant, there's no way that you got to know how to drop it and win just on your own. There had to have been a long history of how you got there dance wise, and who you dance with and the types of things, because you infuse so much dance and being on the beat, and you accept us even when we're here saying, I have a lot of soul, but I'm not going to drop it at the right time. I'm just there to hope that Alison says, I see you, Whitney.
Oh my God, I love that. Yes. So you encouraged me to do that kind of continuation of where I started with dance and then where I ended up with Tramp and Sculpt. And basically, like, just started moving when I was 2.5. I think as soon as you could start dancing is when my parents signed me up. And I just loved it. Like, it just spoke to me, and I am definitely really trying to push that onto my daughter as signing her up for as many dance classes as she wants to take, because it's been so influential. And I would say, like, I was always a good dancer. I was never great. Like, it's nothing that I could have taken, to the next level as being any sort of like professional, make a career out of it. And so what I like about fitness is that I can kind of make it a career, even though it's not dance. It's kind of interpreted into teaching these classes. But yeah, dancing at the age of 2, and then I was a cheerleader in high school. And you know what's interesting is I have 3 other women on my team. Out of the 4 of us, 3 were cheerleaders.
I was also a cheerleader.
So you just Emilie, I might try to recruit you to start teaching.
Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
Emilie, you would thrive there. I'm telling you.
I feel like I might.
I thrive, and I thought I wanted to be on the pep squad because I have no rhythm, even though my soul is very aligned. Like, I will be there listening to Drake and looking at my white husband who also has a very high soul number, and we're both like, oh, that was a great rhyme. And we love, we love Nicki. Her whole playlist, all of the playlists are incredible. But yeah, I am not a cheerleader. I'm just there to cheer.
You guys, do you hear Debbie? She's jealous. She wants to.
Hi,
Debbie wants to be
Debbie.
on the podcast.
She
Her
can
name
be.
is Debbie. That's a very cute name for a dog. So, okay, I was trying to book a class and you don't have times
Yeah.
available.
Thank you for bringing that up. Um,
I'm like, help me.
so after we get off of this pod, I am working on a website. So I need to like upgrade my scheduling system, and I just haven't done that
Got
yet. Oh my gosh, you guys, hold on.
Also, Debbie looks like a little old woman too, so it's funny.
So Debbie is kind of named after a Little Debbie snack cake. Since we're talking about youth things, I always would bring a Little Debbie to my lunch. And she looks like one. She's brown, and she looks like a Little Debbie brownie snack cake. So Emilie is like, what is happening?
No, it's cute. I like it. So, okay, you danced from childhood. What did you do professionally before?
So I still do it. So my husband and I own a digital design studio. So it's called Mentor Creative Group. And we design and build digital products. So that's a fancy way of saying mobile apps, websites, email marketing campaigns, all of the like creative stuff. Erin.
Did you know that
Yeah, Whitney knew that.
about her?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's a studio in Fremont. And my husband is the founder and creative director. And then my official title is director of HR and finance. So it's
Which I thought was hilarious when I saw that.
people and money, baby. People and money. I'm really good at spreadsheet budget. I'm very right brained. No, left brained. So everything's black and white. And I can do a lot of that stuff really quickly and easily. And I'm very good with people and building teams. I would say that's like my biggest strength. And my husband is like the artist, the visionary, and he hates to do the things that I like to do. So we make a good team. But I think working with your husband, what works for us is that we are both very individualistic. We have our own lanes. He never oversees what I'm doing and vice versa.
That's the way to not kill each other.
Correct. Yeah. So we've been around this is our 10th year of being in business, and we survived the pandemic and then this like weird economic thing that we had at the beginning of this year. And so, yeah, we're in it.
And you work with some cool big brands too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every big brand that's in Seattle that you've heard of, we work with.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And he even takes them out on his boat, and then he and Roz are at the marina together and shooting the shit with each other. And now Erin, so you both are, what's cool too is you work together, and then you also support each other's individual hobbies, because Erin is not just a boat guy. Erin is my first mistake with Erin in finding him on Instagram was when he sent me a message. I had posted something about clamming, and he sent me a message saying, "Do you want some recommendations of where to go?" And I thought, sure, that's an easy question to answer. Why wouldn't I want some recommendations? It took me a long time to read what he sent me because it was so much. It's like, Erin, make an ebook. I would love it.
That's a digital product.
Yeah, make an app. I mean, the app exists, but it's probably not as easy to consume as his would be.
Clamfinder.com.
That could be.
Wait, that could also be a dating app.
Clam Slam. Yeah.
What I appreciate about him and all of that, like in his fishing world, is that he like doesn't hoard information. He just like gives it.
We do not gatekeep, is what the Z's say.
Yes.
Okay. He's not a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
He just gives it away.
Yeah.
You know?
And I bet it too, for being a tech guy, he's so happy to type it out. He doesn't have it saved as a note in his phone. Let me educate all the people as to where to find the clams. I just have a note in my phone that I will copy and paste to people. He is happily just in the hot tub, typing away, telling me right now, because it depends on the tides. It depends on so many things. And something that I really love that you wrote, I think, for your anniversary, not that I'm total fangirl stalker stan.
I hope you are.
I mean, I think it's the way to be. Why put anything on the internet if you're not trying to have people engage with it? Shit.
Yeah.
That's why you write it.
Mhm.
So anyway, you're talking about your love for each other, but it's not super sappy because you guys aren't that way, which I love. And you're saying you never thought you were going to be Jane Fonda. He never thought he would be Captain Aaron. And then here you are, he's leading boat tours and bachelor parties out to do deep sea fishing and being a boat renter guy for Freedom Boat Club. And then you're starting your own fitness revolution. And when you met each other at the club or wherever, you weren't thinking this is going to be our future. And yet here you are being two independent people. Not that this is about your husband, but they do matter when you're starting a new venture. And I mean, he built your website and you're like, please go fish and I'll be over here with my trampolines. I love it.
I think that a lot of people ask me about that. Like, do I mind that Aaron is out fishing every weekend? And we kind of have an understanding, like he can. I mean, I would like for him to go out like one weekend day and the other weekend day, like hang out with us. But I just tell them, like, we didn't get married to kind of stifle each other's, I want to say creativity, but that's not necessarily the word. Like, we didn't get married to like stop the other person from doing what they want to do and who they want to become. And I mean, I think a lot of that, the fact that we can do so many things that we're passionate about, is because we only have one child. And so it's easy for us to handle just one, like back and forth with logistics and then keep doing all of these other things. I think if we had more kids on there, it would be a little bit more challenging, but that was also by design. Like, we only wanted one because we like ourselves. That's what I tell people. I'm like, I really like me and I like the things that I like to do. And, you know, Charlotte fits in with that. And that's about all we can handle. And little Deb, she's not being annoying.
An only child, I salute that. I see that. I recognize that. When I was going to college, I told my parents, now that I'm leaving, I'm really concerned you're going to get divorced. And my mom looked at me and she said, we existed before you did, Whitney. We will be fine.
And were they?
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, this isn't about me. We are a little bit self-centered because everything has been about us, but there are a whole lot of pros to being an only child and having an only child, for sure. I loved having access to adults all the time and feeling like part of the adults.
I think that she's into it. She's outgrown like the wanting a sibling thing. She knows that we're like our little
How old is she?
Club of 3. She's 8.
Oh, okay. I have a 7-year-old and you have he's 6, right?
Oliver 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that Charlotte gives her parents a lot of shit too.
She does. She's so rude. And she just cracks me up. Like, the other day I was wearing, it's taking her to see the Taylor Swift movie Friday night.
How was it? Did you get the pink popcorn?
They didn't have that. I went to the Edmonds Theater.
Yeah, the Edmonds Theater isn't going to have the pink popcorn, Emily.
But I got Charlotte the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
And I was running my outfit by her because we were going with a couple other moms and daughters. And I was like, does this look okay? They were like kind of comfy pants. They weren't like, you know, jeans. And I was like, does this look okay? And she was like, well, it does, but it looks like you've given up. I put jeans on.
My daughter is 4. She's obsessed with everything pretty, sparkly, jewelry, dresses. I tried to make her gender neutral because I had my son's hand-me-downs. And that didn't work out for us, obviously. And she is just the most rainbow, sparkly princess that ever existed, which I knew I was getting. I had a vision in my brain of this child coming out as rainbow bright rainbows. It just is who she is. She tells me that I'm unpretty because I don't wear dangly earrings. Yeah. One day
you just don't feel like you in dangly earrings.
No. One day I changed into a dress because she told me I was unpretty.
That's harsh.
Did you play that song for her, the TLC song?
Oh, Unpretty, I should.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I'll add it to our playlist because they try to make me play songs that I don't want to play. So thankfully now they're into our music. And what is so cool about Allison's stuff is I'll add things to my playlist based on Allison's, or I'll hear in her class something that's on Roz's liked songs because we merged our Spotify's. So our liked songs is random pop and country and EDM and then Lil Wayne. Just a whole Juice
I
WRLD.
love Lil Wayne.
Yeah, just lots and lots of Lil Wayne. But it's some of the things that he teaches me, I don't know that I'm ready to learn. And I hear it in Allison's class and I think I'm cool.
You are.
But remember
Yeah.
the one time when we were asking about the Air Force Ones, 2 per?
That is a Nelly song.
Right.
Like Nelly, I would not even say that that's like something. Nelly is mainstream. Nelly is pop. Like especially like from that song, that's like late 90s and it was on all of the pop radio stations. Like that's inexcusable that people didn't know that reference besides you and Aaron.
I feel like that would be a deal breaker for me. I would be standing in this class of a franchise that I very much love and support and being like, I need to start my own thing because not only is this probably not on the approved playlist from nationals, but no one in this class knows this reference. And that's upsetting.
It was.
That's like TRL prime.
Yeah.
How are you not with us here?
You can be soul light and still know Nelly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And my husband would agree. Nelly is like so pop.
Yeah, that's pop culture.
When you're thinking about your playlists, what is that process? Because I know that that is a whole part of your brand.
It's just I listen to music all the time and I can't even say how or why or who or what, but it's one of those when you hear the song and that underlying beat and I can kind of see, or this is going to sound weird, but I can kind of like, in my head to just that certain, like maybe it's the bass line. Like I'm like, okay, this, I could do this here and then up and then over. But it's basically 24/7 listening to music and it's always like some sort of pop, or I'll be like, Spotify 2023 dance remix because I love a remix, something a little bit unexpected, maybe a mashup. Yeah, but I don't know why it resonates with people. I don't know other people's process on like how they choose a playlist and how it's different from mine. But I will say that when people talk about my classes, besides, that's probably the number one thing is that they like my music the most. So I'm just going to keep doing it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. What about your instructors? How much autonomy do they have over their playlists and their livelihoods? Like, they're not going to make me tramp to Fleet Foxes or whatever unless it's a remix.
I have started basically breaking down songs like this is a good song for Tramp. Just put it in a playlist and share it with them and then they can plug and play. This is a good song for Arms. Same like that. Since we're so small and it is a private room and we're not broadcast, I'm not streaming it. I don't have any sort of like approved music. Like it's just anything. I'm kind of struggling with like, and you guys can give me your input. We can turn this into a therapy session.
I'm ready.
Please.
I want to play music that like the artist original intent, right? So that might have curse words in it, words that the three of us don't say on the regular, but let's say we're on Nelly or Lil Wayne. That's their art. They put it out into the world. So do I play the unedited version of the song or do I play the edited version of the song because it might make people feel uncomfortable?
I don't think you want to cater to the people who are going to be offended by Nelly using the words that artistically drive him. That's my stance.
What do you think, Emilie?
It would be distracting for me to hear the edited version. I wouldn't like it. I'm doubling down.
I feel like I don't have the life experience or to give you advice on this. I think I would ask a person that has a musical background, maybe? Or like, do you know any performing artists? Like what they would say to that? I don't know. I think you should worry less about offending people, but I would ask them if they would be offended by that, because we don't want to like assume that.
Well, let's say they use the C word or something.
Or that, well,
I know what you're
that's not-
referencing. I know what you're referencing, but like for us as women, let's
Yeah.
say they use the C word. I'm not offended if Nelly is using that and it's part of a song that's his art. It's just the way they express themselves.
Is that in any songs?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm
Well, and they talk, I mean, look at Nicki Minaj, the amount of
Yeah.
sexual innuendo and moves that they're making that, like, let's say you're super prude and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so offended by the things that they're referencing. Like Lil Wayne talks about, like I said, I learned a lot from Lil Wayne about things that he may or may not do in the bedroom or outside of it. But you know what I'm referencing. And I'm not offended. I just think about it later. But I'm also, my brain is also focused on.
She's like, hey, I heard this thing.
Yeah, I ask Ross. I ask him all these things about his personal anatomy. We've had lots of conversations about it because I really don't understand penises and how you have them in the world. And there's things I don't understand about my own parts, and why. And how complicated they can be sometimes, but just even riding a bike, it's a lot. It's a lot to have a penis and a bicycle seat and balls. But yeah, I mean, I'm more focused on the move. Is Alison going to say, I see you, Whitney, as I'm doing this move, less than the songs?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you could do a disclaimer. You could put it in your like class description, like explicit music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that would be a good way to just warn people, I
Or
guess. And if they don't, you could have a clean class, like just one of the clean classes,
I don't know. I feel like the clean people are so boring. Why do you have to be so like offended by things?
I don't know. I don't think
That's their journey, and me being judgy about their journey. But I don't want to attract people who are easily offended. Like my friend and business partner, we are doing a website workday in December, and because it's easier to schedule here at Workhorse on Sundays when we don't usually have events, I thought it would be funny to name it Website Church. And she didn't want to name it Website Church at first because she was worried about people being offended just by the term church. And I said, well, maybe those people aren't our people. It's really not an offensive term. It's just kind of a pun. I don't even know what it is. It's not even that. It's just kind of a play on it's Sunday and we are taking you to church for your website. It's just funny. So if somebody's offended by Website Church, then I don't want them here anyway. And do we care about that business? I think that comes into play a lot too when you're putting your art out into the world. There's so much that I want to create from my soul, which I've talked to both of you about, where for a long time I said I never wanted a book, I never want a restaurant, I never want anything that can be publicly reviewed because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with reading what other people have to say. And a lot of my work lately has been learning that when you're on the road to ascension, not that this is totally related to that, you will get haters, you will get trolls, you will get heat and hate from people who don't like what you're selling or it bothers them or offends them, even if it's not the words in the song. It's just the concept of Tramp. I can't believe that you would, that's not how I would do fitness. Whatever they want to say.
You know what's funny is, so I've written about it a couple times in Edmund's Moms and like on Facebook.
Yes. This is where Emilie and I met. That's our origin story.
we did meet in Emoms.
But I try not to be in there, but I'm listening.
So
I learned a lot.
I just posted, I was like, all right, I've got to talk about Tramp Stamp and Edmund's Moms. Got to get some new eyes on this biz. And you guys.
I thought you were going to say this bitch.
No,
That
too.
Yes.
Well, and for reference, not to derail, but this is a group on Facebook that has thousands of members who are women who have kids in the same school district as us. And it is a wild, wild jungle.
And I had to like pump myself up and like say, you know, if somebody doesn't like the name, that's okay. Like they don't have to come. But I did text a group of some of my friends that I know are in Edmond's moms. And I was like, all right, guys, I'm getting ready to post about Tramp Stamp. Will you guys like get on there and just like it and comment?
That. Yeah.
And
I think that's a good idea.
And so like I got 0 negative comments about the name because, you know, like people could, before I named it Tramp Stamp, I was like, oh, I can't name it that. Like, I don't want it to be derogatory.
No, I love it.
But then I was like, it's hilarious. And I also think hilarity is part of my brand. Like, I think I'm a pretty funny person. And Tramp Stamp is like not even a thing anymore. It's just, so now I feel like it's an irreverent kind of throwback that's memorable.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did say you need to make tattoos for people's Tramp Stamp areas.
That's funny.
Yeah.
There's
like
so
temporary
many
tattoos.
There's so many good things that I can do with it that's in like stage B.
Yeah.
Well, are you gonna, okay, so this is my question for you. Like, this seems like something that could become
Peloton.
one of those, yes, like nationwide,
oh my God,
you know,
I love
core power yoga. Like, it does though. It has the feel of that to me. Is that your intent? Is that where you're wanting to go with it?
You know, yes. Everything I do is like big scale. I'm always thinking about, okay, where could I see this in 10 years? And I know Whitney does a lot of goal setting and vision boarding and all of that. And in 2011, this is going to be a roundabout answer. But in 2011, I wrote down a whole vision of everything I wanted. And literally everything came true. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, I have goosebumps. Down to like my house, my daughter named Charlotte. Like there were aspects I wanted in my house and my location. There were aspects I wanted in my career. Because in 2011, Aaron and I had not started the business. Yes. Oh my God, there she goes again.
Debbie agrees. Emilie just showed us her mug that says manifest that shit, and then Debbie retweeted it.
She did.
So I'm in the process of like thinking about what is my 10-year plan. And that's hard right now because we're opening so soon that I'm focused on like, all right, I have website work to do. I have little bitty gritty things. I got to get people into these classes. But with a name like Tramp Stamp, with offering these 2 classes, with offering a format, I think that it would be, I want it to be something that grows. I'll say that.
And that's something that we talk about with women a lot. You understand this as well, but it's still scary as women. We think we're creating something that's serving the world, and then we're afraid to bother people about it and put it out there and own too that I have big goals for this because it feels gross and egomaniacal or however it feels. And so it's really cool to hear you say, yes, I want it to touch a lot of people because it's okay. I even would say things, and Kristen Cavallari just said this on her brand new podcast, the goal of, if I say something that helps one person, then I've done my job. Yes. And that always used to be my personal rule too. Yes. And if it could reach as many people as possible, then even better, you know, and there's lots that comes with that can be unsavory, but it doesn't have to be, you know. Fuck the haters, do what you want. Have your 2 per. Get down. It's so fun, Emilie. I've taken multiple classes.
I'm excited. I remember you telling me about her, and then the first time I met Alison, we bumped into each other at V and Vin, right? And she was like, wait, you're Emilie Given. And I was like, oh my God, she knows who I am. And she's like, yeah, Whitney tags you in her stuff all the time.
And you haven't told Alison
I remember people's names and their handles. Like I freaked this guy out because this woman, and she introduced me to her fiance. And I was like, oh yeah. And I just like blurted out his handle. And I was like, oh my God, that is so embarrassing.
That's amazing.
But it's also, They wouldn't have an online presence if they didn't want people to follow them. That's the whole point.
That is
Jesus,
true.
I get so irritated. Like, I used to have these sorority sisters who I got the hand-me-down award. We did these giveaway things every year, and I got Queen of Facebook. And when I was in college, Facebook came when I was in college. That's where I'm at with my relationship to Facebook. And they were called Willoways. And so one girl the year before, the class above us hands it down. They gave me these Willoways. I got Queen of Facebook. And so people kind of gave me shit for the fact that I knew about and was played with social media and knew that there was a big future there. And they would come up to me and say things like, I saw you went to this thing or you went to that concert at the Gorge. It looked like you had so much fun there. And I would go back and double check. Not one of you bitches liked my album, commented on my album. And this is back in the day where you just had the digital camera and
Yeah.
you uploaded everything.
Everything.
Yeah, all of the ugly pics. And I know that you're going through it. And, lurking, I wrote an email about this before. I praise the lurkers because they help the cause too. And it would be nice if once in a while you're coming up to me in person, you'd at least hit me with the like. You're already there. Show me that you care. I just posted on my story today on Instagram. I'm so tired because I'm just shouting about the local election. We don't have to get political here, but it just is like, I get tired. I get tired of talking about it all the time, and I have to keep going because I'll see myself pop up in comments on these news sources where this stuff really matters to me, and I have to keep talking about it. You have to keep talking about Tramp even when you're tired because it's a service to the world. And it is. It is.
My gosh, I love your enthusiasm.
And Emilie too. Emily's on day 22 in a row of working out.
Yes, Queen. Where are you going? What are you doing?
23 working out, actually, day 23. I'm just on my Peloton.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. Who's your favorite instructor?
It's so hard. I really like Allie Love. I really love Emma Lovewell. I really love Hannah. I forgot her last
Corbin.
name. Yeah, Hannah Corbin. I like Olivia Amato, but she's a little bit intimidating sometimes.
You only like the women. Interesting.
What's the guy who's always yelling at me? I use his audios sometimes.
Cody.
He has a book
Rigsley.
now.
Does
he? All have books.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't I am not a workout person. I am becoming a workout person, trying to reframe my mindset, but I historically have not enjoyed it. I feel so much better about myself when I'm working out. It's literally just like 20 minutes a day, but it's like an energy reset for me. And I also started with the trainer. So tomorrow's week 3 of my personal trainer.
Nice.
So strength training. So yeah, I'm into this. I'm excited.
And that's something Alison can speak to too, because it is fun. And again, people have other mental work to do too, but there is a level of, I've heard from a few people in town that Alison's classes are intimidating, probably because Alison's so fucking good at knowing when the beat drops. But that doesn't deter me because I'm like, I love the music. It's fun even if I suck. And it is close to home, and that matters too. Like, all my personal development shit all says that kind of thing. Like, if it's not easy for you to get to or on your way, then you will not prioritize it. So the fact that you're on the Peloton and your neighbor is a personal trainer, all of that matters. But also the fact that it's 45 minutes and it's fun even when you're like, I suck, but I showed up. And another trigger for me, and Alison can respond to all of this, I don't like when instructors call me a guy. I don't like when they do it consistently. It's fine when I know it's just a filler word or a way that we address people, but when it's constant, okay, guys, let's go, guys, I don't like it. And then I'm distracted. I'm not having fun in my workout anymore.
I'm going to call you out on that because we just talked about being offended.
Yeah. It's not offended so much as irritated. Did I say offended? I just don't like it. Anything
you didn't say offended. You just said you didn't like it.
Anything that gets me distracted from what I'm supposed to be doing. Cause I'm a word nerd. So I'm like, don't call me a guy. And if it were you calling me a guy 100 million times, then I would maybe move past it because I like the class enough to not be irritated. But when I'm already kind of like, ugh, I don't love this class, and then you're calling me a guy every other second, I'm just over it.
Well, I don't say guy. I say y'all.
Yeah.
That's my.
I say y'all.
She's from the
part of
South.
my brand. Yeah.
Where are you from?
South Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, like the South. So yeah, I'm always like, yes, y'all. And that's just part of the brand is a y'all.
I love y'all. I could never
I've
pull
only
it
been
off.
to South Carolina once.
And you went to Charleston.
Hilton Head.
Oh, okay. South Carolina has the best beaches. The water's warm. You can swim in it. It's like super sandy. And yeah, that's probably one of the most endearing features of South Carolina.
My back was wet. And it wasn't even that warm there when I went to Charleston.
Okay, I was like, where are you going?
My back was wet.
I'm after the class. Like, when? Okay.
I don't sweat.
There's a cat in my backyard. We don't have a cat.
It's a sign.
Hello?
You should look it up from your angels
What
later. But I don't do sweaty back. I don't do humidity in this way of the Carolinas. And I'm willing to suffer because my best friend moved to Charlotte.
Oh.
And I have to see lightning bugs. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
And she started saying y'all. And I'm like, okay, you're born and raised. It doesn't irritate me that she says y'all because she's my best friend. But when do you get to start saying y'all?
I don't think there's a rule. I feel like, especially now, like y'all is just inclusive. I feel like it's fine.
So I was in Olympia on Sunday, which is where I grew up, and we were on our way home from Oregon. And they are Russian dumpling people, and they had a sign that said, "It's fall, y'all." And I'm like, you're in Olympia, which is like, the most progressive you can probably even get in the state. And you're Russians, maybe Ukrainians running this Russian dumpling place. And you have it's fall, y'all. Like, I appreciate that for you. But it was a thing that I noted. Like, okay. And in some of my work for the city, it's an easy thing to all these articles that I write about fall and things. The former writer did say it's fall, y'all. And then I wondered, are you Southern? Or are you connected to Southern people?
I heard a new fall term that I embraced greatly. It's Falleluja.
I've never heard
that.
So
I hadn't either. I think it's hysterical.
That is funny. I will not be using it.
I like it. I like it.
I have to connect with it, And I think unless I have a connection to the word and feel like I can participate in the word, then I feel like an imposter. So I can't say y'all. But I love having it said at me.
Y'all, not guys.
Not guys.
Yes, y'all, no guys.
No, guys just feels lazy.
I saw this meme or whatever of like 10 gender neutral greetings, and my favorite was like, hello rat bastards. I'm like,
yes, thank you.
Hysterical.
Yes. My children, I corral them. I'm like, children? Because it's easy to say guys to kids. So I'll say children, young popas.
Young popas.
I just address them by what they are. Because they're not both guys. That's just my personal thing. I have a lot of like really weird nitpicky things. So I hope I don't encourage everyone to be irritated by guys because fitness classes matter. And sometimes they say guys more than you would like them to.
Yeah, I think most of the time people are just like, when they're out there teaching, and this is actually something that bugs me, is as a teacher and as a client, I don't want to be talked at the whole time. Like, you don't need to fill every single moment with speaking. That is what bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to be told what to do, and then I need at least I want 30 seconds or however long the movement is of me being in that movement, listening to the music. I don't need you yelling at me. So that's how I teach. And then that's how I've been asking my instructors too, because that annoys me. Because I can't.
I like it.
You're like
when they
competing with the music, like just talking, and then you got the music in the background.
Yeah.
Sensory overload.
I like it though when they're like encouraging.
Duh.
They're like,
Yeah.
yes, you can. Like, like that kind
Everybody
of stuff.
needs
Like,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I
for
definitely
sure.
need that.
And I love to call somebody out. I will call a hoe out all day. I'll be like, yes, Whit, I see you. And
Honestly,
again,
if I don't get it, I get sad.
I know. Everybody wants to be seen because
Now I want to go. I really want to go. Please work on your website right now.
well, I can't because I'm talking to you guys. I'm trying to be
Oh,
present.
I know. I'm so excited.
Wait,
though.
but everybody is finish what you were saying. Everybody wants to be seen.
Everybody wants to be seen. It's like if you are, like Emilie, you just said that it's not part of your everyday routine, right? Like you're making an effort to get up and get on the Peloton. And so if somebody acknowledging that you've paid a class, you've paid money to come to a class, you've gotten in your car, you've driven somewhere, like, and you are working and maybe you look like completely off the beat and you don't know what you're doing, but you're just owning it and you're just doing it and you're leaving it all there, that deserves recognition.
Showed up, like actually showing up.
So that's why, like, when I'm calling people out in my class, like, yes, Emilie, like, yes, Whit, it's not necessarily because you're on the beat and you're nailing that move and you know what comes next because you're so good. It's just because you're doing that shit.
I feel like it would make my heart really swollen. I think about the instructors a lot of this is a big stage. It's vulnerable for them to be up there leading and people there watching them, and you're there to guide them through this experience that is really part of their day in a way that hopefully makes them feel good, right? And that's a responsibility that I would take very seriously. I am not a person who is equipped to be a fitness instructor, but even somebody who just sits and talks on a free Zoom about influencers, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm impacting you. I hope this matters to you a little bit and that you feel good and supported.
Fitness instructors are special.
Yeah.
Like there's a personality type. I don't think I'm it, honestly. But I think that there is a personality type that's like, you're encouraging, but you're also like not nervous about doing the moves in front of other people and like looking weird. And like, there's like a level of confidence. Yeah, it's special.
There's been, okay, so ever since I've started my little Tramp Instagram and I've had to like record myself doing these things and putting them up, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I've had to like just get over, like especially you guys, we're gonna get real. So I was like, I had this idea of like doing this like Instagram video and it was gonna be shot from behind. So I like set up my thing and I got on a Tramp and I was like shooting myself from behind, right? You guys, I am like blessed in the back with the rear. And
lucky.
I mean, I feel
I'm working on it.
I feel like I'm too old, like, because I'm 42. I'm about to turn 43 soon. So like the decade of like being happy about that, like I'm like a decade too old for that. Like, you know what I mean? And so when I was like, oh my God, I was like, I cannot believe that this is what like everybody sees what I'm teaching because there's a lot going on back there. But you know what? That's just the way it is. And so, yeah, you kind of have to get over like, I do not have like the perfect lithe, like sinewy body, but I don't think that matters. Like, it's just, this is the way I look and this is what it looks like jumping on a trampoline and that's it.
Confidence goes so far too.
Yeah.
You're confident out there and showing me the moves, and it makes me confident as a person with a lot of soul and no rhythm. I'm like, yes, I'll dance across this floor in my like nerdy, way because Alison told me to, and Alison looks cool.
That was a big sigh.
I can't wait to experience this. The sigh is only because I just drank a whole Stanley, so I just have to pee.
Speaking of drinking a lot of water, I was on this Tyler Cameron journey, who was a bachelorette guy, and then he took it his own way and is an even bigger celebrity than if he had been the Bachelor. And I was on his Instagram, and he doesn't do much of it anymore, but he has a videographer who takes his fitness videos. And I was asking my trainer yesterday, because the videographer said the sweat is real. And then my trainer said he drinks a lot of water. He must be drinking 3 water bottles before. And he knows, because he used to be an almost pro athlete, they know how to stay super hydrated, so that he said, yes, I bet that sweat is real. And it is dripping way more than my back sweat in
Charleston.
It was flying off of him.
Ew, I don't.
So go work out, Emilie. If you go to an Alison class right after this, you will be flying water at people.
I'm going to go to an Alison class. I cannot wait. Okay, speaking of Alison.
Yeah.
Alison.
That's me.
Tell us. We want to move into rapid fires awkwardly because I'm awkward. But if you've listened to the pod, we know that we ask you a couple questions toward the end of the podcast. We like these to be rapid, but most of the time they're not. So we're going to go into it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, how much time do I have to answer?
Oh, it's not. We're
unlimited.
Not going to buzzer you.
The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist. Tell us about a book that you've read or a podcast you listened to that changed the way you're thinking about your life or your business.
Okay. This is going to sound so cliche, but whatever. Oprah.
Go on. She's my person.
Yeah. And one of her podcasts, and she was talking about habits of successful people, is that every action that they are taking is getting them closer to their goal. And so I have a tendency to procrastinate, and I'll find a shiny thing that looks fun to do rather than doing something that is productive and that I need to do.
Yep.
And so my inner dialogue these past few months has been, what am I doing right now that's moving me closer to my goal?
I love that.
I just keep that going in the background.
Yep. It's necessary. Shiny object syndrome. We talked about this 2 episodes ago. It's such a thing. Same. I think we all do. I mean,
I'm I deserve a break. I'm going to go sit over here and read this book. And maybe reading that book is good, but it's not helping me get people into my classes,
Yeah, but I think there's something to be said to be you're a whole person. You're not just a business owner.
I know, but
right?
I know. I can push myself.
You can.
Yeah.
What is the best business purchase you've made in the last 6 months under $100?
Girl, under $100.
I know everyone's no, you can cheat. It's okay.
Well, even the website host or the class plugin.
How much is a trampoline?
They're expensive. They're $300.
Wow.
Weights.
Yeah, that's a good one. A set of hand weights is definitely under $100. I mean, so much less than $100. And you would be shocked at how sore and tired your arms could be just with a set of 4-pound weights, 5-pound weights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had me with the ankle things on, and I was telling you about the little Pure Bar mean lady sergeants.
I love an ankle weight.
I
love an accessory.
Yeah.
Any sort of accessory, fitness accessory, weight accessory. I feel that was kind of a lame answer because Whitney gave it to me.
It's okay. I'll ask you a new question.
Okay. Pass.
It's a good one, though.
What? This is my favorite one, and you've been leaving this one out lately. I don't think you like it, but I really like it. What would your last meal be?
Okay. Deviled eggs.
I had one this morning.
Yum. I love deviled
2 halves.
eggs.
My mother-in-law makes great ones. We'll drop them off one time.
Deviled eggs is one of my favorite foods. Some sort of yeasty roll. This is very stereotypical because I'm from the South, but I love fried chicken. It would probably just be a Southern meal, fried chicken, macaroni and cheese. I wouldn't have any vegetables because who cares? A roll, deviled eggs.
Well, who cares? It's your last meal, yeah.
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 Sweet tea. Yeah.
Have you had
Nice.
Vaughn's fried chicken?
I have had Vons, but I just go to Ezel's.
Yeah.
I love Ezel's.
And
I like Ezel's
Oprah
too.
loves Ezel's as well.
Yeah.
There was like drama about Ezel's. Like the husband and the wife got divorced.
Well, yeah.
And like someone got the recipe and someone got the name.
Same with
Yeah.
Paseo, that happened.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. And finally, this is one we added because Whitney read about it somewhere.
I read
right?
Rainn Wilson's book, and he asked that on his podcast, and I liked it.
I like it. I like it. What's one life experience everyone should have?
Failure.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think that a good life experience is you put yourself out there, and knock on wood, this doesn't happen to me, but you put yourself out there, you work for something, you try really hard, and you don't get it. And I think that not getting it, it shows like your grit and your determination of what can you do just to either gracefully move on and accept it and find something else, or, you know, grinding until you get that thing that you put yourself out for. I don't think that we fail enough. And
We also don't teach our children how to fail.
that's what I was going to bring up. I'm like, am I making Charlotte's life like way too easy for her?
Yep. I think I am too. Yeah. You just try to protect them because you don't want them to feel a certain way. But I think there's a lot to be said for teaching our kids how to fail gracefully and move forward and learn from it.
And we also know that like life is going to kick them in the ass, you know, like at some point, maybe once they get out of grade school, they're going to have some hard times, and
we can't protect them from everything.
Yeah. But we can like make this little part cozy and then gearing them up for the future.
As a newly minted previously resistant volunteer who is now very into being a school volunteer and had no idea that this was a career path for me, I can tell you that in my shift yesterday, I learned that they are being taught about failure and how they have a little mantra, at least at my kids' school, of how to talk themselves through it. And that makes me really excited. Whether they do it or not, I think they are all still special snowflakes. But at least they have their little mantras in case they do fail. And what does failure even look like? I don't know. It's such a big conversation.
I don't know how to transition. I was going to say, before we let you go, please tell everybody where they can find you.
As in location or online, digital presence?
Like tell everyone what your address is so that they can show up at your house. I'm just kidding. No, like where to find you online.
People in Edmonds do know where she lives.
Yeah. Online, we are trampstampfit.com. There's that cheerleading coming out. Trampstampfit.com. And my IG is at trampstampfit. We are located in the bottom floor of the Shoreline Academy of Music and Dance. And it's north of Costco off of Highway 99.
Nice.
Yeah.
And actively accepting new trampers.
And 100%. And let me tell you guys before we sign off. 1, you are not going to fall. You will not fall off the trampoline. We are not jumping high, you jump low. 2, if you have had children, you might pee. That is the number one question I get. Will I pee? You might. And so
I cannot tell you about your own body.
Before we sign off,
these are the
you might pee.
You might. And so what I say is go to the bathroom right before, wear black pants. And if you come back, you will build up those muscles and you will stop. The pelvic floor will be strong post-tramp.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this and you're curious about pelvic floor, go back and check out our last episode, not last one, but a couple back, Rachel of
Empowered Physical Therapy.
Yes, and learn more about your pelvic floor.
And we have Body Motion coming on soon too to talk about pelvic floor. We got
so much pelvic floor.
Lots of support for the vaginal muscle basket. What did Rachel call it? She called it a basket of muscles.
Yes, it's like a basket.
I could never stop thinking about that.
A tasket.
Listen, your basket will be woven.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
Even more reason
basket
to tramp.
weaving. Yeah. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for
It's been
having
a
me.
pleasure talking to you. And thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of The Coast. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.